When John Kennedy was shot upon Dallas during 1963, his killer, Lee Harvey Oswald, was said to have acted alone, but there is considerable evidence to the contrary. At 11:40 a.m. on Friday, 22nd November 1963, President John Fitzgerald Kennedy of the United States and his wife Jacqueline landed at the airport of Love Field, Dallas, Texas. Within an hour, the 46-year-old president was to be killed by a bullet, one of the several that were fired on that fateful day. As Kennedy was preparing to leave Washington earlier that morning, he had made the prophetic remark, "If anybody really wanted to shoot the president, it is not a very difficult job. All one has to do is to get on a high building someday with a telescopic rifle, and there is nothing anyone can do to defend against such an attempt." He did not know that this day had already dawned. Soon after 11:50 a.m., the motorcade set off from the airport with Kennedy in the rear seat of the presidential limousine, with his wife Jackie on his left. The governor of Texas, John Connally, and his wife sat in front of them in the open-topped car. The crowd was so enthusiastic that Miss Connally leaned back to say delightedly to the president, "Mr. Kennedy, you can't say Dallas doesn't love you." The car passed the 7-story Texas School Book Depository at about 12:30 p.m., traveling at about 11 miles per hour, which is 18 kilometers per hour. As it went down Elm Street, 3 shots were fired into it, from a range of about 80 yards, 75 meters. The exact number and direction of the shots have given rise to bitter controversy that still rages. What is certain is that there were at least 3 shots, and possibly more. The first hit the president at the top of his back, and exited through his neck, but was not fatal. He raised his hands and clutched his neck and said, "My God, I'm hit." A few seconds later, Governor Connally was wounded in the back by a bullet that traveled down his arm, smashed his wrist, and finally lodged in his thigh. The third bullet was a fatal one. It hit the president in the head and exploded his brain and skull. The shots all seem to have been fired from the direction of the Texas School Book Depository, and the only bullet that was recovered matched the type used with a rifle found on the 6th floor, along with 3 spent cartridges. The rifle, an Italian Manrica Carsoni, had been bought from a Chicago mail-order firm by Lee Oswald, using the alias A. Hidell, Hidell, on 20th March 1963. Oswald had abandoned his rifle and gone down to the lunchroom on the 2nd floor. Police, who had seen a rifle barrel poking from the 6th floor window, raced to the warehouse and saw Oswald standing nonchalantly, nonchalantly, by a drinks vending machine. Oswald was asked if he worked in the building, and when other workers said that he did, the police continued their search without holding him for questioning. He made his way to his flat at Oak Cliff, where he changed and picked up a .38 revolver. About 1:15 p.m. he was challenged in the street by patrolman J.D. Tippit, double P. Oswald shot the officer in the head, but was seen seeking refuge in a cinema and arrested. Oswald shot the officer dead, not in the head. I don't know where he shot him. Oswald shot the officer dead, but was seen seeking refuge in a cinema and arrested. Palm prints on the assassination rifle led police to charge him with the killing of both Tippit and the president. While there can be no reasonable doubt that the rifle shots, including the fatal bullet, were fired from the window on the 6th floor of the book warehouse, many witnesses were positive that other shots had come from a sloping area of Dealey Plaza to the right in front of the president's car, that became known as the Grassy Knoll. The Grassy Knoll. So this is something to do with love, you know. At least 3 witnesses, one a police officer, claimed to have been warned away from the area by men carrying what appeared to be a Secret Service credentials. but inquiry showed that no Secret Service agent had ever been stationed there. Was this agent a second rifleman? Other witnesses, including a railway... Now here it says the car was known as the Grassy Knoll, and here you have what was a second rifleman. Other witnesses, including a railway worker called Lee Bowers, described seeing two men by a boundary fence shortly after the assassination, one of whom could have been the agent. Others said that they had seen a man running away from that area towards railway siding after the shooting and driving off in a black car, into which he had hurriedly thrown something. Among other witnesses who claimed to have heard a shot coming from the grassy the grassy knoll behind them was Abraham Zapruder, a Dallas clothing manufacturer. So this man, Abraham, it was pretty sound, the name is Jewish, but that's not any relevance to the case. The cine film he took of the assassination on his home movie camera has become the most famous amateur film footage of all time. It provided, because the Jews more akin to staying on Jerusalem or around that area rather than move to the west and say, yes, America, we want to have any part of America. I don't think they like that. It provided crucial evidence about the exact time of the shots and the interval between them. The evidence of Zapruder's film can also be interpreted as supporting the theory that the gunman on the knoll fired the fatal shot, perhaps using an explosive bullet. It wasn't an explosive bullet. I don't think those days they didn't have them. The film shows a section of the president's skull flying off backwards as though he had been hit from the front. His body also jerked backwards when, according to the laws of motion, it should have lurched forwards under the impact of the high-velocity bullet from behind. Perhaps the president was very strong. It has been suggested that Kennedy jerked backwards as a result of a muscular spasm caused when his brain was struck, and because the limousine had accelerated very suddenly after the first shot. I assume he was very strong. I will conclude this, I will read more of this later. Thank you very much.